Jack Miller's reflections on his first season with Pramac Yamaha have quietly delivered an encouraging message for Toprak Razgatlioglu ahead of his highly anticipated MotoGP debut in 2026. Despite a campaign that failed to produce podium finishes, the Australian insists the Yamaha M1 is far more competitive and adaptable than recent results might suggest. Miller, who joined Pramac Yamaha for the 2025 season, endured an inconsistent year that saw flashes of promise undermined by familiar limitations. His best result came with a solid fifth-place finish at the America's Grand Prix, while the season concluded with 79 points and 17th overall in the riders' standings. On paper, the numbers appear underwhelming, yet Miller's internal assessment of the M1 tells a more nuanced story. According to the 30-year-old, Yamaha's inline-4 machine ranks surprisingly high when judged on pure riding feel and balance, even though the manufacturer finished bottom of the Constructors' Championship. Drawing on his experience with Ducati and Honda, Miller highlighted how the sensations delivered by the M1 stand apart in the current MotoGP landscape dominated by V4 engines. He stressed that modern MotoGP development cycles make historical comparisons irrelevant, noting that progress is relentless and year-on-year gains are increasingly marginal. In Miller's view, the M1's strengths and weaknesses are now clearly defined, allowing riders to push with confidence rather than wrestle with unpredictability. Crucially, Miller acknowledged there are still areas requiring improvement, a realistic admission that reflects Yamaha's ongoing rebuilding phase. However, he repeatedly described the M1 as a special motorcycle, emphasizing that its core qualities remain intact despite recent struggles. This assessment suggests Yamaha's issues are more evolutionary than fundamental. Perhaps the most revealing insight came from Miller's comments about his own adaptation. Initially skeptical that the Yamaha would suit his riding style, he admitted the transition proved smoother than expected. The fact that a rider accustomed to V4 machinery could recalibrate so effectively speaks volumes about the M1's forgiving nature and technical clarity. For Toprak Razgatlioglu, these remarks carry significant weight. The reigning World Superbike champion is preparing for one of the most challenging moves in modern MotoGP history, switching not only categories but also engine philosophy. Miller's testimony offers reassurance that Yamaha's inline-4 platform does not present an insurmountable learning curve, even for riders coming from vastly different backgrounds. Yamaha's decision to extend Miller's contract now appears increasingly strategic. Beyond results, his extensive V4 experience with Ducati and Honda provides invaluable technical feedback as Yamaha develops its own future V4 project. This dual understanding positions Miller as a crucial bridge between Yamaha's present and its long-term ambitions. As Razgatlioglu prepares for his 2026 debut with Pramac Yamaha, Miller's words reinforce the sense that the foundations are being quietly laid. While podiums remain elusive for now, the underlying message is clear. The Yamaha M1 is no lost cause, and for riders willing to adapt, it may yet prove a formidable weapon in MotoGP's evolving era. Beyond individual results, Miller's feedback has been quietly influential inside Yamaha's technical structure. Engineers value his ability to articulate differences between engine concepts, particularly in areas such as throttle connection, corner entry stability, and rear grip management. These insights are helping Yamaha refine not only the current M1, but also the direction of its long-term development program. One of the most telling aspects of Miller's season was how competitive he could appear on circuits that reward smoothness and corner speed. Tracks such as Austin highlighted the M1's natural balance, allowing Miller to extract performance despite straight-line disadvantages. This characteristic is especially relevant when considering riders who rely heavily on precision rather than brute acceleration. For Razgatlioglu, whose superbike success has been built on extreme front-end confidence and late braking control, Yamaha's philosophy may prove less alien than expected. The M1's predictable chassis behavior could allow the Turkish rider to transfer his strengths more effectively than if he were stepping onto a more aggressive V4 platform. There is also a psychological dimension to Miller's comments that should not be underestimated. When an experienced MotoGP race winner publicly describes adaptation as manageable, it eases pressure on incoming riders. This environment can be decisive in a debut season, where confidence often determines how quickly raw speed is unlocked. Yamaha's recent emphasis on satellite team integration further strengthens this outlook. Pramac's closer collaboration with the factory has improved data sharing, setup direction, and development continuity. For a newcomer like Razgatlioglu, this structure reduces isolation and accelerates learning during a critical adaptation phase. Importantly, Yamaha's performance curve in 2025 suggested subtle but consistent progress rather than stagnation. While headline results remain scarce, internal lap time analysis revealed narrowing gaps to the front, particularly in race pace. This trend hints that the M1's limitations may be gradually shrinking rather than structurally entrenched. Miller's presence also offers Razgatlioglu, a reference point rarely available to MotoGP rookies. Having a teammate who understands both V4 and inline-4 behavior allows comparisons to be framed clearly, speeding up the technical feedback loop between rider and engineers. Taken together, these elements paint a cautiously optimistic picture. Yamaha may not yet possess a title-contending package, but the groundwork appears increasingly solid. If development momentum continues and Razgatlioglu adapts as smoothly as Miller suggests, Pramac Yamaha could soon transform quiet progress into tangible results on the MotoGP stage. Yamaha also views Razgatlioglu's arrival as an opportunity to reassess its rider development philosophy at the highest level. His unconventional braking style and ability to extract performance on low-grip surfaces could expose new setup directions for the M1, particularly in races where tyre degradation becomes a decisive factor. From a strategic standpoint, 2026 is shaping up as a transitional season rather than a final verdict. With regulation stability allowing incremental gains, Yamaha's focus will be on building a competitive baseline around consistency rather than chasing isolated breakthroughs. In that context, measured progress from Razgatlioglu would be seen as validation rather than disappointment. Ultimately, Miller's candid assessment has reframed expectations. Success for Yamaha in the short term may not be defined by podium counts alone, but by how effectively riders can unlock the bike's potential. If that benchmark is met, the results are likely to follow.